Stop turning your compost, the Amish secret that makes it break down twice as fast. Do. There's a quiet revolution happening in some of the most productive gardens in America, and it doesn't involve machines, fancy fertilizers, or endless work. The Amish, known for their simplicity and wisdom in farming, have discovered something most modern gardeners completely overlook. While many of us sweat and struggle, constantly flipping and turning compost piles to get them to decompose faster, the Amish have mastered a method that does the opposite. They barely touch their compost, yet it breaks down in record time, producing rich black soil teeming with life. The secret isn't in how often they turn it. It's in how they build it. Welcome to the Amish way of composting, a time-tested method that stops the constant turning, saves you time and effort, and still gives you rich, finished compost faster than most modern active piles. Once you understand how this works, you'll never look at compost the same way again. We've all been told that turning compost frequently helps add oxygen and speed up the process, but what many gardeners don't realize is that constant turning interrupts the natural microbial process. Each time you flip the pile, you disturb the delicate web of bacteria and fungi that have just begun to build colonies and break down organic matter. When the Amish build compost, they let the natural layers do the work. They know that nature doesn't turn forest floor leaves. It lets them decompose steadily under the right balance of air, moisture, and microbes. This balance is what most people destroy by overworking their piles. The Amish discovered that by preparing the compost right from the start, they never have to turn it again. It all starts with structure. The Amish don't throw compostable materials into a heap randomly. They build in layers that ensure air and moisture flow perfectly from bottom to top. The base layer is the key. Start by creating a foundation about 12 inches thick, made of coarse material like small dry sticks, corn stalks, or rough straw. This bottom layer acts like natural ventilation, keeping air pockets open so oxygen can move upward without the need for turning. It also allows excess water to drain, preventing foul smells or anaerobic rot. On top of this base, they begin to stack alternating layers of green and brown materials, just like a perfect lasagna. To get Amish-level compost, your ratio of greens to browns matters. They use about 1 part green material, like kitchen scraps, fresh weeds, or grass clippings, to 3 parts brown material, such as dried leaves, shredded paper, or straw. This ratio ensures enough nitrogen for microbial growth without causing overheating or odor. Each layer is about 6 to 8 inches thick, and after every 2 layers, they sprinkle a thin dusting of finished compost or healthy garden soil. This adds billions of beneficial microbes instantly, acting like a natural starter culture. When they reach about 4 to 5 feet high, they top it off with a final layer of soil, about 2 inches thick, to seal in moisture and prevent flies. This creates a natural microclimate inside the pile, where decomposition happens continuously and evenly. Now here's where their real magic begins. A simple microbial booster formula that jumpstarts decomposition faster than turning ever could. Scene 2. The compost activator recipe. The Amish mix a fermented compost activator using just a few natural ingredients: 1 cup of molasses, 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 1 liter of well-aged compost tea or worm leachate, which is the liquid from worm bins, and 20 liters of clean water, preferably rainwater or dechlorinated tap water. They stir this mixture thoroughly and let it sit uncovered for 24 hours in a warm spot. This activates the beneficial microbes and yeast, which will multiply rapidly. Once ready, they pour it evenly over the layered compost, soaking it just enough to make it damp like a wrung-out sponge. This liquid acts as a biostimulant, feeding the bacteria that start the decomposition process. The molasses provides sugar for energy, vinegar balances the pH, baking soda controls acidity and odor, and the compost tea introduces millions of living microbes. With this formula, your pile will heat up within days, sometimes reaching 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, the perfect range for breaking down even stubborn materials like corn husks or straw. Amish farmers believe compost is alive, and like any living thing, it needs the right balance of moisture and air. The ideal compost pile should feel like a squeezed-out sponge, not dripping wet, but not dry either. They never allow rain to drench it completely, which can drown microbes. Instead, they cover the top with an old piece of tarp, cardboard, or even thick straw. This cover retains moisture while allowing air to flow from the sides. They also check the temperature using the simplest method possible, the hand test. If you can push your hand into the middle and it feels hot but not burning, your compost is alive and working. If it cools too quickly, sprinkle another round of the fermented mixture and lightly water it. Here's what's surprising. While most gardeners turn their piles weekly to keep the heat up, the Amish don't touch it at all. After the initial boost from the microbial activator, the pile enters a slow active phase, where the microbes break down material at a steady, uninterrupted pace. Within 4 to 6 weeks, the interior begins transforming into rich, dark humus. By 3 months, depending on weather and material balance, the compost is crumbly, sweet-smelling, and ready to use, often twice as fast as frequently turned piles. This is because the microbial network remains intact throughout the process. Each layer decomposes naturally downward, creating what's essentially a living compost ecosystem. The result? You get rich compost faster, with less work and zero odor. The Amish method doesn't just produce compost faster, it creates compost better. By avoiding disturbance, fungi and actinomycetes, which are special bacteria that form thread-like networks, grow stronger and more abundant. These microbes are responsible for creating stable humus, the dark, nutrient-rich material that gives soil its life. Unlike hot compost that loses nutrients through frequent heating and aeration, Amish compost retains more nitrogen, potassium, and micronutrients. It's cooler, biologically richer, and more stable. When added to your garden beds, it improves soil texture, boosts microbial life, and enhances long-term fertility. This compost isn't just fertilizer, it's living soil medicine. Once your pile finishes decomposing, simply let it cure for 2 to 3 more weeks. During this time, worms and beneficial insects will move in, finishing the compost naturally. You can then use it directly in your vegetable beds, mix it into potting soil, or spread it as mulch around fruit trees. The Amish often apply it during early spring or fall, mixing about 1 part compost to 4 parts soil when preparing planting beds. This keeps soil fertile throughout the growing season without relying on chemical fertilizers. And the best part? Since their piles aren't turned or compacted, they don't release as much carbon dioxide, making this an environmentally friendly method that, really mirrors nature's own recycling system. What the Amish have quietly proven is that good composting isn't about hard labor or endless flipping. It's about working with nature, not against it. When you stop turning your compost and start layering it with intention, balance, and microbial support, you unlock the same efficiency the Amish have relied on for generations. Your compost will decompose faster, stay richer in nutrients, and require almost no maintenance. It's honestly one of those rare gardening lessons that's both simple and revolutionary. So, if you're tired of the constant turning, the waiting, and the frustration of compost that never seems to finish, it's time to do it the Amish way. Build it right once, feed it with the natural activator, and let the microbes handle the rest. Your soil will thank you with healthier plants, better harvests, and that deep earthy smell every gardener loves. If you found this guide valuable, make sure to subscribe to Growth Hub Central Crops, hit the like button, and share this video with fellow gardeners. Together, let's keep growing naturally. Smarter, not harder.